Welcome on Life Peak TV, and the show is Political Sky. Today, we are privileged to have a diplomat, a political analyst. Maybe he introduced himself, then we want to show Kenya how political terrain is becoming sloppy.
Yeah, thank you very much. I go by Samwel Othieno Aduda, alias Aduda. I'm a student of political science and public administration. I major in public administration and administrative law. Political analyst. Yeah, I think I can go with that for now.
Okay, my friend, the current looming situation in the country is that the DP is steering the impeachment, which is drawing near. The motion against the deputy president could be tabled in parliament any time from now. Like I've seen MPs, the likes of Didmas Barasa, claiming that the president will go home not walking but running. What's your take on that?
I think this is something that was foreseen before, and it does not come as news to me, especially when you see on how the deputy president and the president relationship has been for quite some time. You know, in the earlier months, we saw that the deputy president claiming that the president and his team were not that much favorable, and they were not giving him the space and the capacity to serve accordingly to his office. So it is not news. However, the impeachment motion is only a matter of time. It is not a question of if it will be tabled. No, that is not the question. The question here is when will it be tabled. And from my sources and the sources that are there is that this coming Tuesday, of course, we've learned that they garnered over 300 signatures that are required to start off and kick off the impeachment motion. So we should expect that come Tuesday, it will be tabled to Parliament, and if the Speaker of the National Assembly gives it a yes, then we shall have the motion on the floor.
Okay, and the motion is garnered by the requisite support from different members, where the sources says that the signatures are coming fast and furious from different lawmakers. Is this a strategic plan by the state, including the president himself, or is just a protocol?
I think we should start by giving credit where credit is deserved, because if we look at how things are running, one, we must see that this is a political move, and in politics, politics is dynamic. However, what we should learn is that this is not a political move that it is aimed towards the deputy president, no. And as you're saying that the signatures were coming in fast and furious, see, there's been a bone of contention actually with his statements, or rather the statements of the deputy president. Yeah, you are quite familiar with the Usiguze Mrima, yeah, watu wa Mount Kenya, and so on and so forth. So I think it is a way to tame him, to make him be submissive, because honestly, truthful men never thrive in Kenya. So that is what I can see it as for now.
Okay, thank you. And on matters to do with the Usiguza Murima, I think according to Article 150 of the Constitution of Kenya, dictates ground for impeaching a deputy president, a gross violation of the Constitution, suspicion for committing crime, and gross misconduct. What kind of misconduct or violation of the Constitution that the DP did that he is worthy to be impeached?
Well, quite, if I may say, because one, ordinarily, Mr. Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua does not fit to serve in the capacity as a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, one, we can link him to the maize scandal, if you can remember back in the days. I think it was 1980s. Ikikuja huko mbele, yeah. That is one. Two, when we talk about Article 150 of the Constitution of Kenya, I think we should link it from Article 145, Clause 1, to Article 147 up to Clause 3, subsection C. Yeah, whereby you see what are required to impeach the president are also the required necessities to impeach the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. we have four main pillars, or rather four major reasons, rather provisions that are given for us to impeach the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Number one, if he is unsubordinate. And what do I mean by him being unsubordinate? It is him not following what he is being told, yeah? It is him not following what he is being told by the president. He is not executing orders from the office of the president. Number two, it is gross misconduct. When we needed the deputy president to showcase that there is unity, he failed. Yeah? Why? You remember during the 25th June storming of the parliament, days after the president comes and gives out a speech, Rigathi Gachagua himself, Akokule Mombasa, he comes and gives out a totally different script on the same. Then you want to wonder, do these people live together? And if they live together, don't they have each other's cell phone? Yeah, so that they can ring each other and wanaambiana, this is how we should run the country. So I think there has been a lot actually. Yeah, he has been seen to be an ethnic man. Tribalism is in him. So I think they are befitting reasons as to why we should impeach the deputy president. And if not at all, we should also impeach the president along with him.
Wow, that's nice. And there's an MP from Mount Kenya who says that the leader of minority is being given directly from the ODM party leader Raila Amolo Odinga to mobilize ODM MPs to support the motion.
I think.
Do you think ODM is the main force behind the impeachment?
Not really. Before, you know, what we are seeing today, what the face of the cabinet of Kenya that we are seeing today with some few individuals that were key kingpins in the ODM party, did not come with the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. This is something that was seen before, as I said earlier. It is something that was there. We had seen the possibility of him being impeached. It's just that it was a question of time. But now that the time has come, I think he should just deal with his own issues. Because, come to think of it, Raila Odinga, in a manner of speaking, he exited Kenyan politics. So I doubt if he will be able to convince a member of parliament to pass a bill to impeach the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Because if you look at it, what does he stand to gain? Nothing. Because ideally, I want to imagine that if the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, is impeached, the next deputy president, of course, if he will be impeached, the president will be given 8 days to nominate a person who will serve in the capacity of the deputy president. Then the Senate, or rather, no, the National Assembly will be given 60 days to do vetting for him. So all those factors put into consideration and place, we see that Raila Odinga stands to gain little to nothing. So these lame accusations that are there, that these are forces that are influenced by the ODM party, I think it is something that should be frowned upon. We should not tolerate such things. You know, when you want pity, I think you should just go straight forward and say, "Nisaidieni munihurumie." Yeah. But when you use politics of diversion, politics of blame, I think that is not something that we should accept as a democracy and as the people of Kenya.
We have seen ODM allies defending criticism of Rigathi Gachagua towards the president. Has the president turned out to be a darling to the ODM allies?
Not necessarily, because I think, you know, when we talk about lawmakers in Kenya, I think there is a question about ethics. Number one, we have to talk about character, we have to talk about self-drive, and we have to talk about individual ability to think on your own, right? We cannot imagine that the president is a darling to the ODM, not at all, because they normally have fallouts. I mean, there are bills that are there still in the National Assembly, and there are members that when they raise a bill, it is not passed, from both sides, from the minority side and from the majority side. So I don't think if it is anything that was initiated by the president. So in a manner of speaking, the president is not a darling to the ODM. He's just trying to do his work, trying to build cohesion to the country, and trying to make sure that the people of the Republic of Kenya get what they deserve.
Now, thank you for the information. It seems that Gachagua is operating on a dangerous ground, because we can see when the Ruto allies and Raila allies team up to support the motion, like these two gentlemen have two parties that are dominant in the parliament. Mm-hmm. Like we have UDA, which has 178 MPs, ODM has 82 MPs, although not all support the motion. But the DP is relying on Kalonzo Musyoka's party, which has 25 MPs, Jubilee 29 MPs, and DAPK. Is there a leeway for Gachagua?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes, there is a way, because what is there is that the motion will be tabled to the National Assembly, right? After the motion is tabled to the National Assembly, if it gets 2/3 support of the members that they want the deputy president to be impeached, it will be further sent to the Senate. Now, in the Senate, it will also require the 2/3 rule for it to pass for the deputy president to stand impeached. However, that will require the deputy president to have lost to something like 20 to 21 members, yeah, in his favor. You are impeached. But if he gets 23, 24 and above, he will stand still and strong, yeah? There is also an alternative to that. There's also, and the alternative is they will go to an 11-member committee so that they may start ruling out these things. They make the committee and see if it is fit to impeach the deputy president. But if you are talking about regarding Gachagua relying on these other members of parliament, you see, it is, you know, as I said, in the National Assembly, you just serve your own interests, actually. You know, an individual interest is what is normally considered. Because, come to think of it, look at these many bills that have been there, SHIF, the CDF, NGCDF, all these other bills that have been tabled to the parliament. Those members that we expected to vote in favor of the people are the same very members who voted against the will of the people. I mean, you saw the other day the Finance Bill Act, yeah? There were those members of parliament who we expected to vote against us, they voted for us. There's those members that we expected to vote for us and they voted against us. So tides might change, so nothing is that sure. Nothing is that sure.
In past interview, maybe, the DP said that the MPs have been paid.
Well, if they have been paid or not, it is not something that we can confirm, because I saw that Sam Gituku once asked him, hizi pesa ambazo unasema zinapatianwa, yeah, what zilipatianwa kiasi gani? And then the deputy president, you know, at times I think he forgets that he's in an interview in a national television, and he boldly asked, unataka kufanya nini na hizi pesa, yeah? So I think if they have been paid, okay, fine, we can say, because in this current regime there have been cases of handouts hapa na pale. So yeah, I think it is something that we can argue, yeah. But generally speaking, I don't see if it will even if they were not paid, if he would have been affected in any other way that is not what we are saying today. So that is what is there, and I think that is what he will just have to live with.
Okay, thank you. Now, if the DP is impeached today, some few days ago, the song was Nindi Nyoro, but today we are singing Kindiki. Is there a card being played, political card?
Not really, because think about this. 2017 to 2022, Rigathi Gachagua served as the Mathira MP, yeah, MP for Mathira. Actually, it was his first and last term as an MP, yeah. Now, close to the 2022 general election, when His Excellency the President William Ruto decided to name his UDA running mate, he named Rigathi Gachagua over Kithure Kindiki, yeah. So Ndindi Nyoro was, in a manner of speaking, not that much pleased, because, you know, as they say, Rigathi Gachagua was seen to be that little flower there, yeah. Somebody who ukimwambia fanya A, he does A, but unknown to them, he has changed to be the man he is. I don't know kama Maombi, I don't know if he just had a change of heart, but the Rigathi Gachagua that we saw during the first year of the Kenya Kwanza regime is not the Rigathi Gachagua that you're seeing today. I mean, the guy had the audacity then to tell us that this is a stakeholder kind of a government. And you see, that also is one of the things that form the basis of the motion at hand that will be used to impeach him, because they are seeing him as an individual just trying to use a small area of jurisdiction, yeah, to influence the country as a whole. That said, Rigathi Gachagua, I don't think if anything to do with Ndili Nyoro or Kithure Kindiki has anything to do with this impeachment, no. But we must know that the politics of the mountain is very diverse. Yeah, there are very many key elements that are there. Back in the days during Kibaki's time, Moi's time, Kenyatta's time, we could hear them speaking of the Kiambu Mafia. Yeah, these are alleged group of elders that just sit somewhere and direct how the politics of the country runs. So, from where I sit, I don't see if it is anything to do with Ndili Nyoro, say Kithure Kindiki, or any other Mount Kenya leader. It is just a party problem. It is a UDA problem. It is majorly a UDA problem than it is a Kenyan problem, because from where I sit, the execution of the functions of the office of the deputy president have been excellent till now, because in every other meetings anakuja, in as much as saa zingine mnamnyima chopa, anakuja anafika kwa muda wake. He addresses the people of Kenya. He is very meek and humble these days. Although handouts ziliisha, he is very adamant in saying that projects are there. I've seen that he has been very focused in ensuring that education is very keen, is on the front line. He has given sponsorship to many students. Yeah, so it is not a question of his function to the Kenyans. It is a question to the UDA government, to the UDA coalition, because you understand the UDA. Actually, it is the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Yeah, because the Kenya Kwanza coalition is made up of UDA, had ANC, which merged into the Kenya Kwanza. So it is something that has been there, and I want to imagine that it has nothing to do with the members and the players from the Mount Kenya region.
Okay, and we have seen him representing the president in recent days in fundraising forums. Mm-hmm. And he was wearing the face of anti-deputy president, who is Gachagua. Mm-hmm. And I think even his allies from Murang'a County mm-hmm. were saying that the other days it was Kiambu mm-hmm. and Nyeri, mm-hmm. and today we want Murang'a. Mm-hmm. If the president denies mm-hmm. to choose Ndili Nyoro, mm-hmm. is there any form of betrayal?
Not really, because as again I said, this is that is where, as far as litigation goes in a country, our jurisdiction, or rather Kenya as a jurisdiction, it has its jurisprudence, yeah, and the jurisprudence in the law goes that a member to be nominated, you see, and this is what most people don't get. The position of the deputy president is not a position that people normally vote for. No, a deputy president is just someone who tags along, and majorly you see that a deputy president is somebody yule ambaye anatumiwa mostly to fund these elections, yeah, and to attract major major masses from ethnicity goes a long way here, because think about it, Kenyatta's time, back then I think the Luos were the elite. Kenyatta, after Odinga said Uhuru na Kenyatta came out. Odinga supported Kenyatta. They went into power. 66, they had a fallout. Kenyatta had to look for the best suitable person to help him to run his government. Yeah, he went for Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. During Moi's time, you saw how there was a shift of vice presidents then. Yeah, there was a shift of vice presidents. You can remember all those days in the year 1982 when you talk about the coup d'etat that was there. You have to know that these are the factors. Ethnicity has been a factor that has been there. Come to 2002, when 2002, when Raila said Kibaki tosha, it is something that Luos and Kikuyus, in a manner of speaking, joined forces and saw that Kibaki made it to president despite Moi having preferred Uhuru Kenyatta as his preferred candidate. Yeah. Come to 2007, you saw what happened with Raila and Ruto being in the coalition together. So that is 2007. After the post-election violence, watu wakaenda kivyao. Then they kukakuja na, if you remember, it was I think NRP and the MPK of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. They merged and formed Jubilee. Jubilee was majorly of Kalenjins and what Kikuyus, yeah.
Yes.
And of course, then we had COD. If you, was it COD? COD,
Yeah,
I think.
COD, yeah.
Yeah, which was ODM, Ford Kenya.
ANC.
There was also Ford Asili, and so many parties that walikuwa hapo. 2017, the same played, but of course the other 2013, 2017 we had some the ODM guys. Let me not use we. The ODM people walikuwa na usaidizi kutoka kwa watu wa Coast. Come 2022, the same happened, but there was a shift in the table because there was the question of the climbing of the mountain. So, as I'm saying, litigation is the factor that is, I think, will lock Muranga out. Yeah, because think about it. We are talking about nomination of a deputy president, right? And you see, these days I like it that the Law Society of Kenya is very firm and very straight, and they challenge almost every decision made by the national, by the executive and the government as a whole. Yeah. So when it comes to litigation, you see, these people Kinandini Nyoro hawa ni watu ambao we know their character, yeah, and character defines a man. We cannot allow people that, basically speaking, we all know their performance. Ndini Nyoro cannot perform to the people of Kenya. So I think we will have to excuse him from this. Okay, let them find another person from Muranga, we don't care, yeah? But if it is Ndini Nyoro, then we will have to argue about that.
Okay, thank you on that point. And there's a looming situation in the country where there's opaquism in the listing of JKIA. And my question of interest today, there's this man called Mr. Adil Ashed Hawanja, who is I think the manager or the owner of Adani. This man, about 100 days into President Ruto's tenure, Mr. Adil was appointed as non-executive director of Safaricom. And a few weeks later, the Safaricom board appointed him the telco's chairman, replacing John Ngumi, a close ally of the former president of Kenya. And this Adani has been given so many contracts. Apart from leasing JKIA, this man has been linked to this something called universal health coverage, which is worth 104.8 billion. And we have another deal of Adani is eyeing another deal of separate 95 billion to with the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company, famous known as Ketraco, to contract high voltage power transmission lines and substainers in Kenya. And this Adani, it has a law firm where the son of the president, Nick Ruto, is working there. So is the president trying to lure the country in a wrong direction?
It's a good question, actually, a question that has raised concern over the days. And it being a question of great interest, you'll allow me to answer it in bits. Number one, I'll start from where you started, yeah, with the owner. So I'll start with the owner. If I'll forget by in along the way, you'll just remind me. I'll start with the owner, yeah, and the Adani group as a whole. Then I'll go to the Safaricom thing. Then I'll also talk about the UHC, UHF, I think, Universal Health Coverage, UHC, I think. Then I'll also talk about it is Harrison and Matthews law firm, yeah?
Yeah.
It is Harrison and Matthews law firm of Nick Ruto, I think. Not of Nick Ruto, but where Nick Ruto works.
Yeah.
So let me start with where you've kicked us from. I think number one, facts. These are what we call multi-billion corporations. Yeah, and if you're a student of international relations, you are told that in an international setting, we have what we call actors and non-state actors. Yeah, we have state actors and non-state actors. And when we talk about state actors, we talk as the country and the government of the people there. Yeah, the country and the jurisprudence and the laws that govern the people there. And when we talk about non-state actors, we want to talk about other states. Yeah, other states in the international system. That is one. We want also to talk about multinational corporations. We want also to talk about the non-governmental organizations. Those are the three things. Now, when we talk about Adani, we must know, but I think you got the name wrong, because from where I sit, I understand that it is Mr. Gautam Adani. Yeah, he dropped out of school at the age of, it was 16 years, I think. Yeah.
I think his real name is Mr. Ashed Khawaja.
Well, that is neither here nor there. That is neither here nor there, because these are multinational corporations, and the face of multinational corporations, because if you want to link something like the Ketraco deal, yeah, if you want to link it, you'll find that it is under the Abshokos. There's just these funny names, which are also some subsidiary firms under the Great Adani deal. So we can never be sure of the real owner of the Adani. So that is to do away with the Adani as an introduction. Number two, let me talk about Safaricom. You see, there is what we call public administration. Yeah, public administration is what governs how the country is run, and public administration as a subject. Public administration. We have the public administration theory, and we have the public administration, the practical of public administration. Yeah, what we are doing now and what is being executed by the country on all these years. Yeah. When we talk about Safaricom, it is a public corporation, and under public administration, we are told that these corporations, because these are corporations, it is the largest telecommunication corporation we have in Kenya, right? And we were told that the government partially owns Safaricom, right?
Yes.
Now, we've talked about the man that is the current CEO of Safaricom, yeah? But I see it as a what do you call it? As a sadfa, yeah? Kwa Kiswahili tunasema sadfa. Naiona kama sadfa. If the man in charge of Safaricom this day has also affiliations to the Harrisons and Matthews law firm, yeah, where also Nick Ruto works. So, well, it might be it might be something that, okay, it happens, yeah, but come to think of it, there are many questions that are yet to be answered. But as a public corporation in Kenya, we understand that Safaricom owns up to like 25%, yeah. 25% of
22%.
22% of the UHC,
Yes.
which is of 22% of 104 billion.
Yes.
It is close to something like 26 billion Kenya shillings thereabout. So it is something that we must be vigilant, we must be open, we must be ready to criticize. There sitasema mengi because it is not clear to us, because if we start talking about the things, then we will become like David Churchill. Churchill anajicontradict leo, anajicontradict jana, he will contradict himself tomorrow. So hapo sitaongelea. Then
maybe just to sum up in 2 minutes, this man has been given so many multi-billion deals. Yeah, he's gaining from it. I think so. What does the president show?
Well,
just in 2 minutes, please.
Okay, that can't be answered in 2 minutes, but I'll just try to answer it in under 2 minutes.
Okay.
There's what we call the Procurement Act, right? The Procurement Act has like 3 major principles. Yeah, we have the PPP, we have the PIP, and we have the PPI, I think, yeah. Private initiated procurement, private private public in what do you call it? Private public initiative, kitu kama hiyo.
Yes.
So,
Private public partnership.
Yeah, partnership, yeah. So akikuwa amepatiwa hizi deals zote, of course it raises questions because there are many investors in the country, and it is a question of yeye anadeserve aje na wao wengine anadeserve aje. Yeah, so that is what I can say as for now.
Yeah. But what makes Kenyans have so many questions is that this man recently in an interview called Ruto his long-term friend. It means Ruto is actually leaning on one side.
Not
The
necessarily.
friends of the president are benefiting from the government.
Well, that is what we call political patronage. Political patronage is something that has been there. It is something that we cannot do away with. Yeah.
But when Gachagua say that this government is I think it's like a shareholding company. But what Ruto is doing is the same what Gachagua said. But you are blaming Gachagua.
No, we are not blaming Gachagua. I, for one, don't blame Gachagua because he is a good man, the truthful man we know today.
Yeah.
But we must agree that, for us to run a government, there are some things that have been there. And you see, the benefit that comes with having friends at high places is that wanakulipia ndege uende America ile 110 billion, if you can relate to
it. I've seen this Adani man accompanying president in so many trips.
Yeah. Wanakulipia ndege ya kwenda America 110 billion, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. That is the benefit of having friends at high places. Yeah. The benefits also of having friends at high places is that they give you a lease. Because think about it, from 2014 to up to now, actually 2014 was the year ambao tulikuwa na the first attempt to remodernize the JKIA. We were talking about building a new terminal. We were talking about increasing the stands. We were talking about increasing the passenger rate to up to 20 million in a financial year. So from 2014 ikafika 2016, deal ikazama ikaingia ndani ya maji because of course there were these, I want to call them cartels, that were very much interested in this deal. And if you talk about Adani today, you will realize that the deal that they have given, now this is where it gets interesting. Yeah, it is from, you see, on the surface of things, when there is a tender by the government, there is a way that we can what do you call it? There is a way that tunaweza shindania hizi tender. We can compete for these tenders. Yeah, if it is an open tender, right? You say, okay, we have so and so. Let us see the highest bidder akuje. We organize on how we can run this tender, right? But the Adani deal, on paper, on by word of mouth, that is it. But on paper, it is as if they are coming with the terms. Because think about it, we have our own management of the KAA, yeah, Kenya Airports Authority. We have the management. I mean, so why is it that, in as much as they want to us to lease our airport to them for the next 30 good years, yeah, they have increased the equity rate to 18%. That is what is on paper, 18%. And you think 18% is quite much, because that will mean, these things cannot be done in a year. Yeah,
it is called pre-qualification fee.
Yeah, I mean 18%. That is to say that the airfare, is it airfare? Yeah, from Kenya to Massachusetts in the USA will rise from, say, it was, I think, 72,000 Kenya shillings. We had some cuts when our good president with his friends walienda kule USA. It will be by 18%. You see, 18% of that will say like around 6,000 to that. So we shall be going with 80,000 Kenya shillings, right? That said, it is not a deal that it is worth it, because one, it goes against the every norms of the society that we have, or rather not every norms of society. It goes against any financial advice that you can get from a really qualified an economist, a qualified economist. So in my view, I don't want to imagine if the Adani deal is something that ni sakata tu inachezwa, yeah? It is a saga that is there, just well planned, ready to be executed, and you see the beauty with Kenya is that tutapiga kelele but itapita. Yeah, that is the beauty with our country. Tutapiga kelele na itapita.
Yeah, thank you though. Remember, the Gen Z generation is looking, having a spot check on it. Thank you for your time today. It has been a political sky, and I think you have known more about the political sky that is creating a certain pressure in the atmosphere of this nation. You have been here, afraid, maybe say your name and just one word to Kenyans as we close the show.
Yeah, okay. My word to Kenyans is that you be vigilant, be ready to criticize the government that you are in, because all powers belong to the people and are by the people and are for the people, as said by Woodrow Wilson in the year 1887. So that is what I'll advise you people. Otherwise, I'm Rafa Duda. Have a great time.
I'm Samwel Othieno, a political analyst and presenter at the same time. And thank you for your time. Stay tuned. Next time, next place, at the right place also. Follow us. Remember to follow us on various social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Live Peak TV. See you next time. Bye bye.